Hey everybody, happy Sunday. As promised, here is my pizza crust or pizza dough. I guess it'd be more accurate video. Very, very simple. 3 cups of flour, all-purpose flour. Not anything, doesn't have to be anything special. Just, Pillsbury unbleached all-purpose is what I've been using. And to that, you're going to add 1.5 teaspoons of yeast. I prefer to buy it in the jar because I end up using it a lot for doughs and other things. You can use the packets and just measure it out, or I think on the back of the packet it actually tells you how much is in each packet. So you've got that, 1 teaspoon of kosher salt. If you don't have kosher salt, don't worry. You can use regular salt. If you use regular salt, I'd probably back it back down to about 1 teaspoon because it tends to be more concentrated and more salty, so to speak, than kosher salt. So I've got that, and I'm going to give that a stir. Some of you may be wondering what I'm using to give a stir. This is my dough whisk. It's called, I think, the Original Dough Whisk off of Amazon. Totally not necessary, but I like to do a lot of, again, pizza crust, bread dough, and it lets me mix without having to get out the KitchenAid or the food processor or go through a lot of effort. So kind of a low-tech way to get a high-tech result, but not necessary. You can use a wooden spoon or something else, which I'll mix the dough with. And then 1.5 cups of warm water. As you may know, just make sure that your water is not too hot. If you want to err on the side of caution, use a cooler water. It should be about a little bit warmer than body temperature. Too hot and it'll kill the yeast. Too cold, it'll just take longer to rise. So not a big deal. Again, err on the side of caution and go a little cooler if you're unsure. And with this dough, so all I'm gonna do is bring it together with the wooden spoon. It comes together really easy. There's no kneading. It is really a low fuss dough. And it's kind of, I've heard somebody describe it and I agree with this, kind of shaggy. It's not one of those, see what I mean by that? It's just kind of loose-ish or wet dough, as some people may describe. This kind of pizza dough does require a little bit of advanced planning. You have to you mix it together, which is super simple, and then all you have to do is let it set for 2 hours, and then I'll be back and show you what comes next. See you in a minute, or in 2 hours. Hey, I'm back. All right, it's been about 2 hours, and I just wanted to show you here. See, it is risen quite a bit. So I'm just gonna punch him down. I'm gonna flour my hands a little bit, because as I said before, this dough is a little sticky. It can be kind of wet, so I'm gonna take him out of the bowl. Okay, so do that. Now, got a beautiful dough. As I said, I don't need. He is, once he's stretched out, kind of ready to go. So all I do, now there's a couple ways you can go about this. If you're gonna have this dough, tonight for your dinner, then go ahead and just portion it. Just show you that first. So make about 2 12-inch pizzas, okay? So what is helpful, cut it in half, and then kind of gather him up. Oops, here we go. A little flour, and I have got my flour on a mat. So I take him and I'm just kind of turning him under, putting some flour in my hands, just to smooth out the top, and it helps with the texture of the dough and the rolling. Okay, so I'm gonna set him aside just for a moment, and it may continue to have some bubbling on top. That's just our good friend, the yeast. So tucking under, tucking under, tucking under. Oh, hello. Okay. We're going to tuck him there, and we're going to put him aside to rest. So when you're ready, flour, a little flour on your hands, turn him over, and I'm going to roll him out using the baker's roller. And what I usually do, get some of the dough off my hands so they're a little bit cleaner. Hold, please. All right, so we've got that. Take the baker's roller. I usually start from the center and go out. May dip him in a little flour, but roll him out. And, however, as big as you want, as little as you want, you like thinner crust, thicker crust. So we've got kind of a thicker crust out here, kind of a rolled. So what I also recommend you doing is put a little of cornmeal. I just have this in a shaker. It's one of those shakers that you usually shake like powdered sugar, except I don't do a lot of sweet baking, so I put cornmeal in it. So I'm going to take just a little pizza pan, and I'm going to put the cornmeal on it. It'll help the pizza not to stick. It also helps, I think, with flavor and crispness. So I'm going to put him on my little, this is a pretty thick crusted pizza. And I've got him on I think this is an 8-inch pan. So again, you can roll them out much bigger. This amount of dough will do kind of a medium crust, thin to medium crust 12-inch as far as the amount of dough. So put them on there and you are ready to go. I also recommend with this recipe baking the crust for a little bit and then putting your toppings on and then finishing the baking, especially if it's a thicker one. I think if you put you've got a thick crust and then the weight of all the toppings, particularly if you have a lot of toppings, I don't think your crust will get done as well. So I am going to give you that tip. And love, love, love stoneware. Bake your pizza on stoneware. It is remarkable. It gives you a crispy, beautiful crust. It's not soggy. It's honestly the only way I've gotten my son Aaron to eat reheated pizza is because we put it on the magic stoneware pan. So anyway, so that's if you're going to have it tonight. If you're not, and you just wanted to do this just to have pizza ready, which I also do frequently. So I just grab some Ziploc bags. I usually make them in personal pizza size. So this recipe will make like 4 of those. So I cut again in half. I throw it in my Ziploc. Seal them up. I'm going to do the same with this guy right here. And then what I do is I keep them in a larger Ziploc bag. Just throw them in there. And then these are going to go in the freezer. So when you want a pizza, you just take out 1 or 2, however much you need, set it on the counter or set it in your fridge if you do it the night before. It thaws really quickly, particularly here in Arizona, even inside. And then you just roll the dough out just like you would. So I can have them anytime I want. I don't need to go through making pizza dough and waiting 2 hours every time we want pizza. So that is another just little tip for you. Make yourself a batch or 2 batches and then portion them out and freeze them. And so then when you're ready at night, bring it out and then you're ready to go. All right, thanks so much, guys. Have a great evening. Bye. All right, final beauty shot. Here is the finished product for the large pizza. And here's Aaron's personal pan cheese pizza. All right, you can see the crust. It's all this, I'm telling you peeps, magic of the Pampered Chef baking stone. All right, bye.